Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And the board opened its regular session at 6 p.m. this evening, as we had an executive meeting. Sorry we ran a couple minutes late. So we will resume our regular meeting with announcements.
Mr. Chairman, we have the Town of Wareham Community and Economic Development Authority has a notice of a public hearing. They'll hold a public hearing on Thursday, December 20th, 2012 at 5 p.m. in the Town Hall Auditorium at 54 Marion Road, Wareham, Mass. The purpose of the hearing is twofold: to afford those present the opportunity to review and offer input on the ongoing progress of the FY12 Community Development Block Grant Mini Entitlement Program, the FY13 Community Development Block Grant Mini Entitlement Program application, and extending the Dial-A-Ride program through September 30th, 2013. Second, to provide an opportunity for a joint public hearing with the Historic District Commission on Phase 2, formerly Phase 3, of the Streetscape project. The proposed activities for the FY12 Community Development Block Grant Mini Entitlement Program include the Downtown Streetscape Project, Housing, Rehabilitation, and Social Services, including the Code Enforcement Program, GATRA Transportation, Damien's Pantry, Turning Point, and Christopher Donovan Day School Respite Program. The proposed activities for the FY13 Community Development Block Grant Mini Entitlement Program include the Housing Rehabilitation Program, the Downtown Streetscape Project, the Christopher Donovan Day School Respite Program, Damien's Pantry, Turning Point, Advocacy and Support, Domestic Violence Program, and the Homework Assistance Program through the Boys and Girls Club. The Wareham Historic District Commission will hold a hearing on the application of the Town of Wareham CETA, dated December 5th, 2012, for a certificate of appropriateness for Phase 2, formerly Phase 3, of the Wareham Village Downtown Streetscape Project in Wareham, Mass., located on Main Street from the corner of Center Street to the Narrows Bridge into the entrance of Toby Hospital. The hearing will be held on Thursday, December 20th at 5 p.m. in the Town Hall Auditorium, 54 Marion Road, Wareham, Mass. 02571, at which time the application and other relevant documents will be available for inspection. That's all the announcements I have this evening, Mr. Chair.
No announcements.
GATRA, Greater Attleboro Taunton Regional Transit Authority, is pleased to announce the launch of Ride Match, a new web-based tool that offers quick, easy access to information about transportation options for seniors, individuals with disabilities, and anyone needing to travel in Southeast Mass and beyond. I've given a copy of each to a couple local newspapers so they can put it on their newspaper with sites as well. Gourmet and Gourmand is offering a classes on on December 15th and December 16th. One is holiday baking, and the other one is holiday cupcake decorating. That's all I have.
Just a reminder that there will be a New Year's party this year. Is anybody here from the committee? Stick your hand up. No. It's at Bay Point Country Club. It's put on by one of our, I think it's the Centennial Committee. Tickets are $50. There's going to be an excellent dance band. Mr. Sullivan was kind of shocked last week that I asked him to be my dance partner. He kind of looked at me funny. Dolores said you'll be fine, although you're a little shorter than me. So I'll be looking for a dance partner. And there was something else.
Oh, I think that there was one other thing that I had to say. I'm just looking for the email. The Hurricane Coalition is still collecting the smoke detectors, non-latex gloves, and carbon monoxide detectors and fire extinguishers, which are being sent to the Gunyan, is that how you say it, Mr. Slavin? Rescue. The community of Wareham has adopted a community on Staten Island that was devastated during the hurricane. You can like Gunyan Rescue on Facebook and keep up with their progress. There you can see some of the devastation and some of how the donations to date have helped the residents there rebuild and get back into their homes. Mr.
And a happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah.
As Hanukkah has begun.
Yes. Mr. Chairman, I would like to take item 8A out of order. That would be
Yeah,
the
could we
Spirit
just-
of Christmas Awards and the Police Retirement Awards. With your permission.
I have a couple of people in that may not want to stay for that. You want to do them first?
Which ones?
We have a quick interview for committee.
Okay.
We have a couple of people in that are on the agenda.
Okay.
And if you want to take a break to do that, as we should, to do this, right? Maybe we could do these real quick,
Okay.
right? So we have the interview for the Wareham Cultural Council. Paul?
Hello again.
Good evening. If you would just state your name for the record and your interest in serving on the Wareham Cultural Council, sir.
My name is
Thank you.
birthday to you, happy birthday to you, Paul Ciccatelli. I live at 28 Cedar Street officially, and my interest is, excuse me, has always been in the arts. I've spent the past years of my career in the arts as an independent artist. People call me when they need an art project done and they don't know where to start. They don't know how to finish. I've had numerous awards. I've had one-man shows. I've got stuff on permanent display at the Pythagorean Lodge in Marion. Most of people know that I've been doing a lot of television stuff, which is an art, although sometimes we might not think that. And I've been on the council before. So I'm just interested in seeing that the council gets its job done and volunteering my services.
Questions, Mr. Titlebaum?
No questions. Thank you for your interest, Paul.
Thank you.
Mr. Slavin?
Hi, Paul. No questions. Thank you.
Mrs. Begley?
Hi, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
I understand when you resigned or didn't renew for the Council on Aging, it was because you planned on going away.
I had planned on going away. Yes.
Okay, so those.
That all fell through.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear that, but
Yeah.
I just didn't want you to appoint you to another committee and then
Right.
disappear on us.
I wouldn't
for
have
like
done that to
6
you.
months. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Mrs. Winslow?
I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Okay.
Are we going to let Mr. Ciccatelli return to his seat?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you have anything else to add, sir?
I can't think of anything.
No. Thank
Just
you very
happy
much.
to serve.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I move to appoint Paul Ciccatelli to the Wareham Cultural Council to a term to expire no later than June 30th, 2015.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Anything else on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Abstain? 5-0-0. Congratulations, Mr. Ciccatelli. If you need to go by the...
Yep.
Sorry. Thank you very much for your service.
Thank you.
What else is on here? Okay, the dog issue comes up under town business, so that's all set. And I think that was it. We can do that one at the same time, right?
Yep, we can do, my thought was that we could do all the, we can do the Spirit of Christmas Awards, any police retirement, and the Gateman Proclamation.
I think, Mr. Sullivan, did we have one, or did we move all of those because of attendance, the retirement?
They were all moved down there. There isn't anybody for tonight.
Okay.
We had to move those. It's a bad deal.
Oh, okay. All right.
Instead of having just one person come, we thought we would try to have them all. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Okay.
So, can we,
8A.
8A, the Spirit of Christmas Awards. Each year, the chairman of the board selects a handful of individuals, nonprofits, businesses, people who get together to make a difference in the community to recognize and thank them for their efforts. We would be here for weeks if we did this for everybody who is deserving of one. It's very difficult. each year as the chairman goes through the list. But eventually, as we continue this tradition, we will we will probably get through. So the chairman tonight has a couple. Do you want me to read each of them or do you want each selectman to? How do you?
I guess, this is always a terrible posture here. I think if we could have the board stand in front of this thing here.
And
so
then
we're not
everybody
reaching
can.
over the table, if we could
Right.
stand folks up here, and then just everybody has a couple of one, right?
Yep.
And then we can just bring them up one at a time.
Yep. And each individual will read their own
Mr. Sullivan,
award.
feel free to stay with us, that's fine.
We'll have to turn ours around. Okay.
Oh, we'll need one, right? Or are you going to sit there and read them?
No. Each selectman will read them. They just have to turn their microphone around.
It says here, for giving back to the community in several ways through sponsoring National Night Out, providing hot dogs, snacks, drinks, volunteers, contributing 1% of the red card purchases to education, which has benefited the Wareham School District. We, the Board of Selectmen, commend and thank you by honoring you with the Spirit of Christmas Award, presented this 11th day of December 2012.
Next up, I have Priscilla Porter. For your many years of volunteer service, dedication, and contributions that you have made to the Wareham Free Public Library, the citizens in the town of Wareham are appreciative for all that you have done and continue to do for our community. A special thank you from the residents and visitors of Onset Village for your efforts with the Friends to rebuild and restore the Spinning Library. We, the Board of Selectmen, commend and thank you by honoring you with this Spirit of Christmas Award presented this 11th day of December, 2012. Right, I'll just do this one here. I'm loud enough. Mr. Stephen Berenger from Stevie B's. He doesn't get flowers? For your generosity shown in times of need and giving back to the community in several ways, including Jacob's Run, the Fire Victims Benefit, and the many other fundraising activities you have hosted for our citizens in need, you have truly proven that the spirit of Christmas is something that you demonstrate 365 days a year. The citizens in need in the town of Wareham are appreciative for all that you do and contribute to our community. We, the Board of Selectmen, commend and thank you by honoring you with the Spirit of Christmas Award presented this 11th day of December, 2012.
I just knocked my Santa Claus over. Okay. This is for Tom Strom. Come on up. The Board of Selectmen present the Spirit of Christmas Award to Tom Strom for showing remarkable citizenship when you offered a free meal voucher to anyone donating $10 or more to assist the family of Jordan Lopes after his tragic and untimely death, ultimately raising $25,000 for the family, including the entire $9,000 for final expenses in the first day. Your selfless efforts in times when many businesses are cutting back on charity demonstrate a true commitment to your neighbors. We, the Board of Selectmen, commend and thank you by honoring you with the Spirit of Christmas Award, presented this 11th day of December 2012.
The next award we have is for Mr. Richard Wheeler. Dick, this award presented by us is for your efforts to raise awareness and much-needed funds for causes that benefit the community as a whole, such as your 2008 Paddle-thon, which raised over $50,000 to benefit the Wareham Free Library, in your most recent kayak adventure for the Buzzards Bay Coalition. Your enthusiasm, as well as your dedication to education, clean water, and environmental issues is admirable. Time magazine named you a hero of the planet, and we, the Board of Selectmen, commend and thank you by honoring you with the Spirit of Christmas Award. The next award I have is for Shannon Maxim. Shannon, the Board of Selectmen is presenting the Spirit of Christmas Award to you for your efforts to establish Haley's Helping Hands, an organization dedicated to the memory of your daughter Haley, for the purpose of providing financial and other assistance to area families who are facing a serious illness of a child in their own family. Haley's Helping Hands offers support in a time when many families feel completely alone and helpless. We, the Board of Selectmen, commend and thank you by honoring you with the Spirit of Christmas Award. Me neither. No, I'm done. Yeah.
The Box 5 Association. We're giving back to the community in several ways. I'm sorry. I'm in a hurry. No, I'll do it.
Box 5.
Sure they will. We'll start again. The Box 5 Association, for giving back to the community in several ways, through raising funds for the Onset Fire Department to purchase necessary equipment which improves the safety of all residents, as well as collecting toys and food items for needy families during the holiday season. We also commend you for your annual New Year's Day polar plunge, that's cold, which has become a much-loved tradition. We, the Board of Selectmen, commend and thank you by honoring you with the Spirit of Christmas Award.
Joe Soro?
He sends his regrets that he couldn't be here today. He was at a Christmas party for his other establishment.
This award goes to Joe Soro of the Gateway Tavern for your efforts to raise funds for the Wareham High School Library, including a donation of $7,250 in 2011, which was used to purchase new technology for teachers and students to showcase material and add new print and research. Your selfless efforts in times when many businesses are cutting back on charity demonstrate a true commitment to our community. We, the Board of Selectmen, commend and thank you by honoring you with the Spirit of Christmas Award.
We knew Joe wasn't coming, so you got flowers.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Those are for you, not for him. Yeah. Very honest. At the same time, we also, someone here from the Wareham Gateway. Didn't make it. Okay, we can have a seat.
Thank you, everybody.
You want to have the, could you have the group come up and have a group picture here?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
Before everyone gets out of their seats.
Carolyn.
I mean, you just kind of come together here. She'll tell you how you have to stand. You want to stand with that?
We're going to have to move it. Got a wide angle there?
Sorry, guys.
Okay? Thank you very much. Thank you.
We have some refreshments, if people want to grab some refreshments, there's cold drinks in the cooler.
What time? Is that you?
Okay, Mr. Chair, we have an unsigned note. Steve, I missed one announcement. Okay to do now. Let me guess who may have done that. Mr.
Talk
Slater.
softly, please. Talk softly.
It's just such a joyous evening.
Yeah, cool.
Well, go ahead.
Are we ready?
We're ready.
Wareham Historical Society, 17th, will have a Christmas customs presentation at the Methodist Meeting Hall on Main Street.
Okay.
And I have one as well. From two of the recipients that were just here on Saturday, from 1 to 6 p.m. is the annual Christmas benefit for Haley. And it will be at Stevie B's. Santa Claus will be trying to get there to make a visit for the kids. And they'll be accepting gifts, toys for Children's Hospital. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And Mr. Chairman, may I and the others on the board thank you for all your efforts. These are your awards. And for making sure that they all got out on time.
Well, you're very welcome.
Despite many hiccups along the way. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
No, there's no need for that. It's, it's very difficult to sit there and as Mrs. Winslow said earlier, because there are so many outstanding citizens and groups in Wareham that when the bell rings and somebody's in need, they're right there to answer the call. So thank you to everybody. And I just thought that some of these folks deserved a special attaboy or attagirl. So thank you.
Okay. We skipped over citizens' participation. So do you want to go to citizens' participation?
Let's go right back there and run.
I know. We got to get back to work. I think Mrs. Gomes had
Is
her
there
hand up.
anybody here to speak before the board tonight? Oh, you have to raise your hand first, ma'am.
She did.
Oh, come right on up. No, go ahead. Sit right there.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I want to address something, and I want you to know that we really appreciate with the decision that was made on the betterment. I'm talking for Oakdale Cremisa Association. Statements are made like sewer, we're hoping to get past this and for it to finally come to an end. But at certain meetings, and last week it was said, are the sewer users going to pay for this betterment? Statements like that, everything that you say is important, and your decision in making for the town is important. And when one of you say, are the sewer users going to pay, the past sewer users are going to pay, it puts, we were started in this contract as a neighborhood, and I know that it's not likely, that's not where we want to go with this. But in the sewer language, and when you're saying sewer users, you're putting areas against area, contract against contract, because people look to you to decide on things for the town. And those statements itself makes other people from other areas say, well, contract 2 is paying 18, they don't deserve it, because they haven't had the study that we have had in looking in and coming to and finding out the contract was not signed correctly or in where it was fair to contract 2. So that's why those decisions were made, because people keep on saying, how did you get to 18? We got to 18 because of the way the contract was signed, because of the way that it was done. And my whole thing is that you're decision makers. So we're looking for the right information, and we're not looking to pit against each other. We finally, it wasn't a win or lose situation. It was, justice was done. It was done fairly. And we thank everybody for that. But I don't know, it made me, when that comment was made, I wanted to do some homework, and I went back and I said, okay, 1970, when they paid maybe $2,000 for sewer. Way back in 1970, those pipes were clay. So one day we might have to go back and put sewer liners in there. Where's that money going to come from? Today, 1980, they started using SDR pipes, which are lifetime pipes. So it's not fair, because we look on you to make these decisions. And it shouldn't be someone like me to go and do my homework and find out information on sewer or anything else, because you are the decision makers. But you can't pit. This is a nice town. In statements that are made, sometimes you can make people go that doesn't understand and has not put the time to find out the correct information against each other, and it's not fair.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? Okay, moving right along.
Mr. Chair, under the consent agenda, we have an authorization to sign bills and documents.
Yes.
We have an invoice from PGOCO and Sons, Inc., project number CWSRF-3022, contract number 2, in the amount of $122,847 oh, I said that wrong, in 68 cents. That would be 122,847.68. I move to approve and pay.
Motion made to approve and pay the bill. Do I have a second? I have a second on the question.
Is this the final bill, Mr. Chair?
This is the one that's been kind of bounced around. I can't say with certainty it's the final one.
It is, according to the letter, this is the monthly estimate for partial payment number 18, final to the contractor PGOCO and Sons for work completed on the subject project from December 31st, 2011 to July 30th, 2012. The retainage has been reduced from 2.5% to 0%. CDM Smith recommends final payment based on completion of all contract items and punch list items. The payment is prepared under the terms of the contract between the town and the general contractor. The amount now due and payable directly to the general contractor is $122,847.68.
Anything else?
So the punch list has been completed. I believe Mr. Campina told us that last week. Is that correct?
He's outside shaking his head yes.
Anything else? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Abstain? 5-0-0.
Okay, we completed the appointment to the Wareham Cultural Council. We also have an appointment of the Board of Selectmen member to track the dog bylaw, but doesn't that appear somewhere else on the agenda?
Yeah, it's under town business.
Okay, so let's move on. We'll deal with that under town business, Mr. Chair, so we can get to the licenses. Or do you want to do it now?
No, town business is fine.
Okay.
That's just us anyway.
All right. We have a number of licenses and permits that are going to be renewed. I believe last year, because I read them last year too, I think you were out, Mr. Chair. I think last year we went through the entire list, and if there was an objection, we noted it, and then we approved them in bulk and went back to deal with the objections. Is that how?
No, I read them. I had the box in front of me.
Maybe I
And
did them
we
the year
passed them
before.
down, and they were all signed and put back in the box the way they came.
Okay, but did we go through the whole? How did we?
Yeah, one at a time.
Just every one a motion and a vote?
Yep.
Okay.
Can't do them. You can't do them in batch. I tried that 2 years ago.
I could have sworn that's what we did, but the brain ain't what it used to be, that's for sure. All right. So, I am going to hand the box to Mrs. Begley, who will be responsible for sorting out the proper one, and we will
Great.
take one and
Just please be sure They should be just the way they are.
They're not.
They're not.
You have to go to the certain sections to make sure.
Chairman, they're just gonna pull
Oh,
it
here
out.
it is, right here. Right
Oh,
here.
you know what? If you're just gonna sign them, just sign them the way they are in the box, and you can start making the motions.
It starts this way.
Oh, okay. She's got. So as they come,
Concentrate on the motions with
Okay.
us, and she can sign.
as they come down, just flip them over as signed, and then you make the piles correctly again.
Okay.
Okay. Here we go. The renewal of the following year-round retail packaged goods store all alcoholic beverages licenses for the year 2013 under the provisions of Chapter 138 of the Massachusetts General Laws. Vinyak Liquors, Inc., doing business as Anchor Liquors, Deepal Patel, manager, 2360 Cranberry Highway, West Wareham. I move to approve the renewal
Motion
of.
made.
Second.
Second. Question. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? 500.
Assinippy Liquors, Inc., Raymond Vazina, manager, 3 Barker Road, East Wareham, Massachusetts. I move to approve the renewal.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Question. All in favor? Opposed? Abstained? 500.
Brown's Package Store, doing business as Brown's Liquor, Karen Johar, manager, 135 Marion Road, Wareham. I move to approve the renewal.
Motion
Second.
made and seconded. Question. All in favor? Opposed? Abstained? 500.
SRIOM LLC, doing business as Mayflower Liquors, Monica Johar, manager, 3150 Cranberry Highway, East Wareham. I move to approve the renewal.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Question. All in favor? Opposed? Abstained? 500.
Mill Pond Station LLC, Jack Gaddles, manager, 2569 Cranberry Highway, Wareham. I move to approve the renewal.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Question. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained?
I said aye.
Okay, 500.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed 2. The Gin Jess Company Ltd., doing business as The Jug Shop, Adelaide DuPont, manager, 219 Main Street, Wareham. I move to approve the renewal.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Question. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? 500.
The Liquor Locker, Inc., Bhavini Pranav Parak. I hope I didn't totally just assassinate that name. Manager, 3021 Cranberry Highway, East Wareham. I move to approve the renewal.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. On the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? 500.
Oak Grove Corporation, Ronald McCoy, manager, 47 Depot Street, East Wareham. I move to approve the renewal.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. On the question. All in favor? Opposed? Abstained? 500.
Onset Village Market, and that would be
Mr. Patel.
Mr. Patel, manager, 231 Onset Avenue, Onset. I move to approve the renewal.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. On the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? 500.
Pepin's Inc., doing business as Pepin's Liquors, Mark Pepin, manager, 2259 Cranberry Highway, West Wareham. I move to approve the renewal.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? 500.
DJ Sullivan LLC, doing business as Sullivan Wine and Spirit, Joel Sullivan, manager, 260 Marion Road, Wareham. I move to approve the renewal.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. On the question. All in favor? Opposed? Abstained? 500.
Narnarayan Liquors, Inc. I'm not good at this. Doing business as Wareham Liquors. Just don't laugh at me. Is that Mr. Patel again? At the manager, 419 Main Street, Wareham. I move to approve the renewal.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. On the question. All in favor? Opposed? Abstained? 500.
ACAP Inc., doing business as Wines and More, Wareham, Thorpe J. Doran, manager, 2421 Cranberry Highway, Suite 460, Wareham. I move to approve the renewal.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. On the question. All in favor? Opposed, abstained, 500.
Okay. The pack that is coming down to you now, is that this pack right here? Okay. Is for that first batch, so when they get to you, Mr. Titlebaum, you need to keep them separate. So they go back in the box, right?
Yep.
Okay. Under item B, this is the renewal of the following year-round common vic all alcoholic beverages licenses for the year 2013 under the provisions of Chapter 138 of the Massachusetts General Laws. Trova Inc., doing business as Bailey Surf and Turf, Richard O'Melia, manager, 3056 Cranberry Highway, East Wareham. I move to approve the renewal.
Second.
Motion made and seconded on the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, 500.
Bay Point Country Club, Sean Crump, manager, 19 Bay Point Drive, Onset. I move to approve the renewal.
Second.
Motion made and seconded on the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, 500.
Captain Al's Restaurant, LLC, Alfred Harrington, manager, 3236 Cranberry Highway, East Wareham. I move to approve the renewal.
Second.
Motion made and seconded on the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, 500.
Charlie's Place, Inc., Charles Nicola, manager, 3075 Cranberry Highway, Wareham. I move to approve the renewal.
Second.
On the question, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Abstained? 500.
Pepper Dining, Inc., doing business as Chili's Grill and Bar, Alan Dennison, manager, 2889 Cranberry Highway, East Wareham. I move to approve the renewal.
Second.
Motion made and seconded on the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? 500.
L.R. Hunt, LLC, doing business as Cafe Soleil, Leanne Hunt, manager, 241 Main Street, Wareham. I move to approve the renewal.
Second.
Motion made and seconded on the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? 500.
Mark Inc., doing business as China Garden, Jomina Mark, manager, 265 Marion Road, Wareham. I move to approve the renewal.
Second.
Motion made and seconded on the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? 500.
Al and L Corp., doing business as Ella's Wood Burning Oven Restaurant, Bree Sorosky, manager, 3136 Cranberry Highway, East Wareham. I move to approve the renewal.
Second.
Motion made and seconded on the question. All in favor? Opposed? Abstained? 500.
The Fan Club, Inc., Glenn Justice, manager, 2859 Cranberry Highway, East Wareham. I move to approve the renewal.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Anything on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? 500.
GS Corporation, doing business as Gateway Tavern, Joseph Soro, manager, 371 Marion Road, Wareham. I move to approve the renewal.
Second.
Motion made and seconded on the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? 500.
Hong Kong Island Restaurant, Inc., Henry Chan, manager, 3035 Cranberry Highway, East Wareham. I move to approve the renewal.
Second.
Motion made and seconded on the question. All in favor? Opposed? Abstained? 500.
Lindsay's, Inc., Cheryl Lindsay, manager, 3138 Cranberry Highway, East Wareham. I move to approve the renewal.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Anything on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? 500.
Little Harbor Country Club, Inc., Christine DiRenzo, manager, 2 Little Harbor Road, Wareham. I move to approve the renewal.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Anything on the question? All in favor? Opposed? Abstained? 500.
Rare Hospitality International, Inc., doing business as Longhorn Restaurant, Patricia Garcelon, manager, 2421 Cranberry Highway, Suite 480, Wareham. I move to approve the renewal.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Anything on the question? All in favor? Opposed? Abstained? 500.
Concall, Inc., doing business as Narrows Crossing Restaurant, Robert, I can never say it, Mr. Slavin. How do I? Nowotchek? Okay. Manager, 1 Narrows Road, Wareham. I move to approve the renewal.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Anything on the question? All in favor? Opposed? Abstained? 500.
99 Restaurants of Boston, LLC, Todd Cardero, manager, 3013 Cranberry Highway, East Wareham. I move to approve the renewal.
Second.
Motion made in second. Anything on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? 500.
Stevie B's Inc., doing business as Onset Sports Resort, Stephen Berenger, manager, 270 Onset Ave, Onset. I move to approve the renewal.
Second.
Motion made in second. Anything on the question? All in favor? Opposed? Abstain? 500.
Blue Dog LLC, doing business as Piper Bowes, Nicholas Jeppy, manager, 207 Main Street, Wareham. I move to approve the renewal.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Anything on the question? All in favor? Opposed? Abstain? 500.
Peerview Restaurant Inc., doing business as Stevens Lounge, Stephen Baptiste. I move to approve the renewal.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Anything on the question? All in favor? Opposed? Abstain? 500.
Red Robin International Inc., doing business as Red Robin America's Gourmet Burgers and Spirits, David Pincus, manager, 2421 Cranberry Highway, Suite 350, Wareham. I move to approve the renewal.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Anything on the question? All in favor? Opposed? Abstain? 500.
Rosebrook Place Hospitality, LLC, doing business as Rosebrook Place Hospitality, James F. Kane, manager, 2476 Cranberry Highway, Wareham. I move to approve the renewal.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Anything on the question? All in favor? Opposed? Abstain? 500.
Rosebrook Place Hospitality, LLC, doing business as Rosebrook Place Hospitality Inn and Conference Center, James F. Kane, manager, 2472 Cranberry Highway, Wareham. I move to approve the renewal.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Anything on the question? All in favor? Opposed? Abstain? 500.
Salerno's Inc., doing business as Salerno's Function Hall, John C. Salerno, manager, 196 Onset Ave, Onset. I move to approve the renewal.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Anything on the question? All in favor? Opposed? Abstain? 500.
Hadley McIntosh Enterprises, doing business as the Stonebridge, Justin Hadley, manager, 5 East Boulevard, Onset. I move to approve the renewal.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Seconded. Anything on the question? All in favor? Opposed? Abstain? 500.
Vels Inc., doing business as Vels Restaurant, Carlton Bump, manager, 2352 Cranberry Highway, West Wareham. I move to approve the renewal.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. On the question? All in favor? Opposed? Abstain? 500.
Wasabi Steakhouse Inc., doing business as Zen Palace, Ying Shi, manager, 2421 Cranberry Highway, Wareham, Mass. I move to approve the renewal.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. On the question? All in favor? Opposed? Abstain? 500.
Okay. Mrs. Begley, do we have that pile, or are you still working on it? Okay. Next up, we have the renewal of the following year-round common vic wine and malt beverage licenses for the year 2013 under the provisions of Chapter 138 of the Massachusetts General Laws. Mark Anthony's La Pizzeria, Ltd., doing business as Mark Anthony's. Mark A. Salerno, manager, 190 Onset Ave, Onset. I move to approve the renewal.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. On the question? All in favor? Opposed? Abstain? 500.
Tisca Inc., doing business as Minerva's Pizza, Litza Calcanus, manager, 257 Main Street, Wareham. I move to approve the renewal.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. On the question? All in favor? Opposed? Abstain? 500.
The renewal of the year-round club all alcoholic beverages license for the year 2013 under the provisions of Chapter 138 of the Massachusetts General Laws. The Wareham Lodge of Elks, number 1548, Manuel J. Garcia, manager, 2855 Cranberry Highway, East Wareham. I move to approve the renewal.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. On the question? All in favor? Opposed? Abstain? 500. 401, I'm sorry.
Cromeset Tribe, 156, Improved Order of Redmond, Inc., Philip Gustafson, manager, 745 Main Street, Wareham. I move to approve the renewal.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. On the question? All in favor? Opposed, abstained, 500.
Next up, we have renewal of the following year-round Veterans Club all alcoholic beverages license for the year 2013 under the provisions of Chapter 138 of the Massachusetts General Laws. American Legion, Inc., doing business as American Legion Post Number 220, John Fearing, Manager, 777 Main Street, Wareham. I move to approve the renewal.
Second.
Motion made and seconded on the question. All in favor? Opposed, abstained, 500.
Dudley L. Brown Post Number 2846, VFW of U.S. Inc., Arthur Lee, Manager, 4 Gibbs Ballpark Road, Onset. I move to approve the renewal.
Motion made.
Second for discussion.
Second for discussion.
We received an email from the Chief of Police regarding an ABCC commission hearing.
Doesn't.
And he requested.
Doesn't apply to the renewal.
Doesn't apply to the renewal, then?
No.
I'll withdraw my second for discussion and just make it a second of the application.
There you go. Anything that comes out of that will fall out.
Yep.
Anything else on that question?
Mm-mm.
If town council, if I'm mistaken, make sure you set the record straight. If I'm okay, then just say yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? 500.
Okay, finally, the approval of the following applications of year-round liquor licensees to remain open until 2 a.m. on January 1st, 2013 for New Year's Eve parties to be held December 31st, 2012, under the provisions of Chapter 138 of the Massachusetts General Laws. GS Corporation, doing business as Gateway Tavern, 371 Marion Road, Wareham. I move to approve the request to remain open until 2 a.m.
Motion made
Second.
and seconded on the question. All in favor? Opposed? Abstained? 500.
Al and L Corp., doing business as Ella's Wood Burning Oven Restaurant, 3136 Cranberry Highway, East Wareham. I move to approve the request to stay open until 2 a.m.
Motion made.
Second.
Seconded.
For discussion. I just took a look at the license that we had before this board, and they are not licensed to be open on Tuesdays, and I don't recall receiving any sort of notification from this establishment. Did we? Because they're closed, according to their license, they're closed on Tuesdays, and New Year's Eve is open on a...
Which one is this one? Oh, he put it. Oh, that's a different one I'm looking at.
So we just approved a license for that, for their license it's Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So they're not licensed to be open on Tuesdays, and they're requesting to be open till 2 a.m. on Tuesday? That's my question.
I think it's for the holiday.
Well, we had a question like this come up last year. If I remember, I forget. It was not the same question, but it was similar. When they apply for the 2 a.m. license, are they also notifying us of their intent to be open on that holiday, Attorney Bowen? Because I don't remember who it was last year that we had an issue.
I think so. I mean, if they're applying for the holiday license, then they're going to be open, if you let them be open.
So when we're voting on this, we're not just voting to allow them to stay open till 2 a.m. We're voting to allow them to open, period.
That particular day, yes.
So to clarify what the motion and resulting action would be.
This is for January 1st, 2013.
Right, but what Mrs. Begley pointed out is that they're not typically open on Tuesdays by their license. So my question is their application also a request of the board to be open
On a day they're
On
normally
January
closed.
1st,
on a
2000.
day
It's
that they're
separate request. That's
right
correct. You're
on a
right.
day that they're normally?
That's the way I read it.
Well, I wanted to make sure that Attorney Bowen, and he said that that would be the case, because this all falls under Mass General Law, plus our policies.
I think it would be, with your permission, I think it would be fine. I think it's doing both. So I think you're within bounds in approving it, if that's what you wish to do.
That answer the question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Anything else on the question? All in favor? Opposed? Abstained? 5-0.
The Dudley L. Brown Post 2846 VFW 4 Gibbs Ballpark Road onset. I move to approve the request to be open until 2 a.m.
Motion made?
Second.
Second. Question? All in favor? Opposed? Abstained? 5-0.
Stevie B's doing business as Onset Sports Resort, 270 Onset Ave, Onset. I move to approve the request to stay open till 2 a.m.
Motion made?
Second.
Second. And the question? All in favor? Oh, he's writing. Opposed? Abstained? 5-0.
Hong Kong Island Restaurant, Inc., 3035 Cranberry Highway, East Wareham, Mass. I move to approve the request to stay open until 2 a.m.
Motion made?
Second.
Second. Question? All in favor? Opposed? Abstained? 5-0.
Next up on the agenda is the Town Administrator's Report. There's nothing under there.
Mr. Sullivan?
Real quick, we had the Department of Revenue in today as part of our tax rate setting process, and simply it went very well today, and we are moving along in the process. And I will share with this board and everyone any updates that we receive.
Doing very well, and what was the other comment? Moving right along?
Moving right along.
Could you be a little more specific for us, please, without...
With everything that's going on, by the end of next week, we should have our tax rate set, if not sooner.
Okay. So it looks like you're going to get it.
We'll have it in time for that.
It's good news. Thank you. It's good news.
Mr. Chair?
What do you want to do with this? You're going to give that to Derek?
I'm going to read it into the record and then we'll give it to, but I think Mrs. Begley has a question before we.
I just had a question about for the town administrator.
Go right
I might.
ahead.
Derek, Mr. Sullivan. So our definite date for the joint meeting with the FinCom is, just to remind folks, with the FinCom, School Committee, Board of Selectmen, remains January, do you remember?
It's on a Wednesday.
So I think that the week before, the school committee was going to vote on their budget. Is that correct, Mr. Slavin? Through you, Mr. Chair? Okay, so the school department is having a meeting with the FinCom, all-day workshop. Is that correct? I saw that in an email. Do you remember the date?
January 3rd, I believe.
January 3rd, and that starts at 8:30 in the morning.
Yes.
And then we're having a joint meeting on the 25th. Is that correct? I don't remember.
Unfortunately, the phone died when I was pulling it up.
All right,
so that
I
was
have my calendar doesn't die. Let me look. Just as a reminder, I have it as the 23rd. Yeah, the 23rd joint meeting. Okay, I think that's it. It's usually the 3.
Okay. We have a proclamation for the Wareham Gatemen, which I will read into the record, and Mr. Drinkwater will bring to the next regularly scheduled meeting. The Town of Wareham Proclamation, Wareham Gatemen. Whereas the Town of Wareham recognizes the Wareham Gatemen 2012 champions of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Whereas in their final 11 games, the Gatemen outscored their opponents 89-48 and rallied from come-from-behind wins 7 times including the 10-inning championship finale against the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox at Red Wilson Field in South Yarmouth. Whereas the Wareham Gatemen have been league champions 7 times overall, but this is the first championship since 2002. In addition, Wareham won the Commissioner's Cup as the league's best organization for the 4th time. Whereas the Wareham Gatemen is one of 10 teams in the Cape Cod Baseball League, the country's oldest and most prestigious college summer baseball league. Over 20% of current major league players played in the Cape Cod League. The Wareham Gatemen organization runs a summer baseball clinic for children and involves many volunteers throughout the community. Home games are played at the Spillane Field. In witness thereof, we, the Board of Selectmen of Wareham, have hereunto set our hands and caused the official seal of the town of Wareham to be affixed this 11th day of December 2012. Stephen M. Holmes, Chairman, Kara A. Winslow, Clerk, Ellen M. Begley, Alan H. Slavin, and Peter W. Teitelbaum. Congratulations, Wareham Gatemen. Okay. Can you hand that back to Derek so it doesn't get lost? He said, yeah, he said there's a meeting on Thursday, so he will, and if we find out it doesn't get there, then we know where to find Derek.
Be hanging in his living room.
Okay.
All right.
Next we have the 2013 renewal certification, and if memory serves me, we have to publicly announce who didn't renew their application. Is that what we're doing, Attorney Bowen? It just says 2013 renewal certification. And then I have,
You got the right document.
I think I have the right document.
Yeah.
All right, let me get a little bit.
Yeah. There is 2, so why do we only have 1? There should be 2. I mean, there's 2 establishments that didn't renew.
Oh, gotcha.
So what do I do?
Mr. Chairman, with your permission, I think you should amend the certificate to include the name of the other establishment.
Right.
What you could do is you could vote to approve the certification as amended, just name the establishment, and then ask staff to put the license number and the name in. Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, before
I move. I'm sorry, Mr. Sullivan. Go ahead.
we did receive a call that one of the establishments, Pomodores, they're not going to renew it, but there is somebody that's purchasing that property that's interested in license, but I don't think that stops us from doing anything.
No, they're going to have to. They're not going to get it done in the next few days.
Excuse me, Mr. Sullivan. My name's Tim Schifoni. I purchased the property, Commodores, and I'm in the process of obtaining the signatures for the application and so forth.
Yeah.
Well-
It was nice meeting you. You can have a seat, sir. The issue is on the timelines, right? It's November 30th, so.
I have a question for the, do we know what name this license was in? Because they changed, the word Commodores ever changed and they closed down.
I don't think we ever got it till the 128.
Attorney Bowen, must we do this certification tonight, or can it be done next week?
You could do it next week.
Okay.
But it doesn't change his situation. next week.
Mr. Chairman, no, not really. I mean, Chapter 138, Section 16A says that to have a license renewed and preserved for beyond the end of the year, the renewal application has to be in by November 30th. And if it's not in by November 30th, it can be treated by the board as if it were a brand-new application. So there is no renewal before this board. The license will expire on midnight on the 31st. What you'll have to do will be to come back once you gather your signatures and get your corporate papers and everything in order. Come back before the board, apply for a new liquor license, go through the whole process, and see if the board will entertain it.
When were you planning to open?
Hopefully, a little after the first of the year.
After the first of the year.
with your permission, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a little off, but I mean, the gentleman's here, he's a business owner, I'd give
Yeah.
everybody 5 minutes. It's not an issue.
okay.
I want to make sure that when he leaves this room tonight, he knows exactly where he needs to go and what he needs to do.
Well, here's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to, when this license expires, there will be a license available. I don't know if there are other licenses already available on the books or not, but the board could not accept an application for a liquor license for this premises until January 1st, because there is already a license right there, and the ABCC will not allow us to approve 2 licenses at the same location. So on January 1st, you can file an application with the selectmen's staff, ask them to get the license hearing process underway. That will involve notification to abutters. That will involve the Board of Selectmen holding a public hearing, at which time interested parties may attend and comment on the license. And at that point, the Board of Selectmen will decide whether or not to issue the license. Just as a guess, if you got everything going and had a license application in on January 2nd, I mean, assuming that's not a weekend. Let me just take a look. No, that'd be a weekday. Then we have to get the notices out to abutters. I believe there's a newspaper advertisement. You're probably looking at a hearing of this board towards the latter part of January. Now, if the board approves the license, at that point, that approval goes to the Alcoholic Beverages Control Commission. And what the ABCC will do is they will review primarily your tax status to make sure that you're caught up on taxes. And they'll probably also do some research on the status of the current license holder. And when you got to that phase, you'd probably want to talk to your own attorney about how to deal with any issues that came up. But all that being said, an ABC, even under the most ambitious schedule, you probably wouldn't see an ABCC approval in place that would allow you to open until, I'm going to say, early to mid-February.
Because the other license is still, what if the other license was turned in Monday?
If the other license were surrendered on Monday or sooner.
Right. That's what I meant.
Yeah. If the other license were surrendered, we'll say tomorrow, then you don't have that 2 liquor license issue. You probably just cut, almost 3 weeks off of the whole time period.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And if you would just, this is Mr. Sullivan. I don't know if you met Mr. Sullivan.
I have not.
Town Administrator. Derek. You get with Derek in the morning. Well, right now he's going to give you some information. And we'll do our best to help you through the process.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. Okay.
Okay, Mr. Chair. Next, we have the temporary increased resident population. Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 138, subsection 17.
Finish the vote on this.
Oh, I'm sorry. We are going to, I don't think we can because we don't know the exact name on that license. It was changed. We're going to,
I believe it was changed. It's Palmer's.
no, it wasn't Pomodoro's. We changed.
Maybe it was.
I would prefer if we could get the office to fill out a form with the correct license name so that we don't have any issues, especially if this gentleman is going to be needing to come before us.
Town council just told you how to get this done right now.
Okay, but I'm just saying that we don't know. Does the legal name of the premises matter? Or the license?
They're gonna update this form.
Yeah, I understand that, but if we aren't sure of the name. Does it matter?
Move on to the next item.
Well, I want to try and get it done, but I don't want to screw it up either.
All you need to do is give the office amend the thing, give the office the name, they will fill in the license number and the appropriate name on the form.
Okay, so I move to approve the 2013 renewal certifications if the office would kindly amend the certification to reflect Pomodor's name as it exists today on the form.
Second.
Second. Anything else on the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? 500.
Now, on to Massachusetts General Law 138, subsection 17, which provides for an estimate of a temporary increased resident population to be made prior to March 1st in any year. This population estimate is used to establish a quota of seasonal packaged goods stores licensed under Mass General Law, Chapter 138, subsection 15. And we have filled out the form. And I move to approve the form dated December 11th, 2012, with the temporary increased resident population of Wareham as of July 10th, 2013, to be 44,000.
Motion made. Second. Anything else on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? 500.
Okay, now we are up to the special legislation for sewer commissioners, discussion of article to be submitted for the April town meeting. This is the discussion that we talked about last week. We got copies of both the former article submitted and the current. Thanks. So as we know, there were many changes between the two articles, and my concerns lie in two areas. The first being that the article that was submitted, are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay. The article that was submitted in 2012 takes the director of the wastewater treatment plant facility out from under the control of the town administrator, as every employee in the town, except the superintendent, who is excluded by law from the town administrator, and puts the responsibility of hiring, firing, and managing that employee into the hands of an elected sewer commission. It's my feeling that all employees of the town should fall under the jurisdiction of the town administrator, with the exception of the seated director. It's also statutory that they fall under us, and the town administrator, who obviously falls under us, the school superintendent, who under the Education Reform Act falls under the school committee. That provides for consistency, and it also ensures that rules and policies and other terms and conditions of employment are applied equally and fairly across all employees of the town. That's my question and feeling on that matter. If the board chooses to resubmit the article, it did give a lot of thought to a phone call that I got last week in regards to the resubmission of this article, and whether at this point, several years later, it's even necessary. So I had a resident make a very compelling argument to me. My second issue is, well, I guess the first question is, whether or not this is something we even are going to pursue at this point in time. So maybe, Mr. Chair, other people can.
Anyone else like to comment? Mr. Titlebaum?
I think if we're going to pursue, if you're going to have a separate sewer commission with a superintendent who is reporting to the commission, then it makes sense to have that dichotomy. It doesn't make sense to have that person reporting to a town administrator and a separate board. However, I'm of the mind that what we're engaged in right now is deciding whether we want to pursue something that was first pursued almost 2 years ago. I think this board in particular has a fairly decent grasp of some of the sewer issues. I don't see that there's a great need to create an entirely separate elected board. We already know how difficult it is to get people to serve on our existing boards and committees. It's difficult to keep them even in a quorum status. It's going to cost us more money for elections, at least with the printing of the ballots. There's a whole bunch of stuff that goes into this. And where this essentially arose initially as an effort that didn't come from this board, it came from elsewhere. My feeling is, personally, I don't see that this board needs to remain involved in it any longer. If some citizen wants to come forward with this, if a group of citizens want to come forward with something like this, if they still want to press the issue, then Godspeed, but I don't really see a need personally for this board to remain involved in it any longer.
As far as the question goes about the changes, the original article in October of 2010, I think it is, whatever, 2011 there, when it, 2010 actually, it never got really past a certain point. We never got any depth at all with the House and Senate councils, because as special legislation, it doesn't go to the Attorney General. It actually goes to special counsel for the House and for the Senate, because it is special legislation. When they were looking at it originally, from what I could ascertain without getting a firm yes or no, was they had some issues about going back in the prior history of Wareham. Just because we asked to have the selectmen removed as sewer commissioners and changed to an elected board doesn't mean that either the House or Senate will agree to that, because they go back and look at the history. And even if you ask for something, there's no guarantee they're going to approve it. So they had some questions. They had gone into some detail. They had some language issues which kind of floated for a year and a half, never got answered. But when we looked at the final corrected piece as far as taking care of the language issue, I asked town council just to go through it, and then I went back and looked at it. There were issues in the language that's just, I think, called a business manager, which the town of Wareham doesn't have. It's not in the charter. It's not in the bylaws. It's not in any personnel program whatsoever. So therefore, we had to pull that piece out because that was there, because there's no such thing. It did not flow properly, having the superintendent of the department, basically the director of municipal maintenance, also being involved. It didn't make a lot of sense to have the town administrator in there for the flow of information as well. So in cleaning it up to make sure that the Attorney General's office, which is not the Attorney General's office, but really special counsel, when they look at it, we just decided to make it clean and have all every part of the jobs flow properly, so there'd be no going back and forth and having something that's not solid as far as legal law went. So those are the changes that were made, basically. I think when the discussion happened at town meeting, the person who got up to object to and wanted changes done mentioned 3-7 is not existing in the charter. Well, it actually, even though it wasn't in there, we passed back in October 2010 3-7. You have to go back and reference that particular number to say it's been deleted, or else they'll have problems again when the House and the Senate Council look at it, because they were looking back through all that. So that was the reason that went out. So the information that was given out at town meeting, there was some misleading information as well. Going forward, I don't have a problem whatever the board decides to do. My position was strictly to take the article that was originally passed by the and presented by the Charter Review Committee and just get it cleaned up to try and get something happening with it. Unfortunately, it did sit for almost 2 years, became stale. We can go back and do it what the board feels they want to do with it, but there were some issues which we did not get a clean answer from the House and Senate Council as to some of the functions of the article as was written. So we basically went ahead and cleaned up at my discretion what I thought was the things that needed to be cleaned up to get it through and get it passed through the House and Senate. Thank you.
Anyone else? Mrs. Bailey?
Well, I think that the first article from October 2010 was a result of a committee. That was the Charter Review Committee. So it was a number of people that work for a very long time on cleaning up the charter, and they're the ones that came up with that particular article. The article that we were presented with didn't come from a committee. This board did not, it was submitted by the Board of Selectmen, but this board did not see that prior to the warrant closing and did not have the opportunity to really have these kinds of discussions prior to going to town meeting floor. In my opinion, the article that was presented at this last town meeting pretty much made it a district. And I think that it's fracturing the government further is not the answer. And I have to agree with Selectman Teitelbaum. I think that it's probably best to keep it in the hands of the selectmen. And I don't see moving forward with this, and I don't think I'd support anything going forward in the spring.
Mr. Chairman, if you don't have any comments, then I would make a motion.
Just one more comment, please. Just so people understand, I appreciate Mrs. Bagley's opinion, but the article was not going to set up a district. And we can get legal opinion if you want, but that was not the case. Right. The article would not do that. That's why I'm keeping it here. The sewer commissioners would have had to go before town meeting for their budgets like everybody else. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, just one brief remark. I was remiss earlier when I failed to thank Selectman Slavin for taking the time and the initiative to try to put this together again. It turns out to have not been a successful effort, but I appreciate that he did attempt to take the bull by the horns and get this done, even if it didn't work out. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Slavin. Mr. Chair, I will move that the Board of Selectmen discontinue any further discussion on the special legislation for SOAR commissioners.
Motion made.
Second.
Anything on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Abstained? 5-0-0.
Okay, next we have the discussion of the funding source for contract 2, and I believe we were waiting for some information on that. Mr. Sullivan, did we get that information?
No, we didn't.
Okay.
That may be a little.
It may be a while. So, Mr. Chair, maybe we'll just keep this on the agenda, and when Mr. Sullivan has the information, he'll let us know.
It is a recurring item.
Thank you. Okay, we also have appoint member of the board for tracking of special legislation regarding dog regulation.
Yep.
Isn't Mr. Teitelbaum on the dog committee? Is this the same thing?
Well, I am on the dog bylaw committee, and as some people have suggested, I might even be a dog lawyer. But going beyond that, what this is about, just so the people, our large viewing audience, as Selectman Winslow likes to say, can appreciate what we're doing here. At town meeting, we passed essentially a request to the legislature to go ahead and revoke a special act in 1994 that took the hearing on dangerous dogs authority away from the Board of Selectmen and vested it in the Chief of Police. Since that time, the animal control officer came to us and wanted us to conduct dangerous dog hearings, which at this point the legislature has enacted and we're not authorized to do. So what we have in our packets tonight is a letter from the chairman asking Senator Pacheco and also Representative Gifford to go ahead and file legislation to revoke the acts of 1994 so that we can follow the town meeting mandate. So that's what this is. And from what I can see, what the board apparently wants to do here is appoint somebody to track this, make sure it gets done, so we don't wind up in a situation like we have with some past town meeting issues where it just kind of fell by the wayside. So if the board would like me to do it, I'll do it.
That was we were looking for the Reader's Digest version of that, but that's exactly correct. Something was passed, and we're looking for a volunteer from the board to dog it.
Well, Mr. Chair,
to make sure that it gets done.
Absent any objection from any other member who might have an overwhelming desire to track the dog law, I would suggest that Mr. Teitelbaum would do a bow-wow job at it. So I will move to appoint Mr. Teitelbaum to track the doggy law.
Motion made.
Second.
Second on
for
the question.
Second for discussion.
I second it, so.
Sorry.
Mr. Slavin.
The way this works, I'll give Mr. Titlebaum the names and addresses of the House and Senate person that has to keep after.
Is that a question?
It's not. It's part of it. But the other thing is, I would like that we get a report every 2 weeks what the status is. This is the problem we had last time.
So that we can dog watch him.
Exactly.
I love it. That's great.
I'm being hounded.
Woof.
Okay.
It'll be done.
Okay. Did we vote?
You gotta love it.
Did we vote?
Mr. Chair.
Anything else on the question? All in favor?
Woof.
Opposed? Abstained? 5-0-0.
Okay, next up is appoint Board of Selectmen member to the screening committee search for the new superintendent of schools.
I received an email from Chairman Sweat. The good doctor is resigning, effective, I think, July 2013. The school committee is forming a screening committee and asked for a representative of the Board of Selectmen.
Well, Mr. Chair, I would be interested in that. As you know, I'm working on well, we haven't started yet, but we're starting to work on the collective bargaining, and I work well with the school committee.
I was hoping, actually, Mrs. Winslow, this time as the chair, that I would represent the board on that committee.
Well, if you want to do it, certainly.
I did.
Then I move that the chairman.
If that's okay with all you.
Right. That's what I just said. I nominated the Chairman Holmes to be appointed as a member of the Board of Selectmen for the screening committee to search for the superintendent of schools.
Second.
That motion made and seconded. Anything on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? 5-0-0.
Next up, we have any town business not reasonably anticipated within the last 48 hours.
Anything?
Nope. We
Next up.
have no sore business this evening. Liaison reports.
Not for me, Mr. Chair. We're kind of on a holiday schedule.
Yeah.
I don't have anything either.
Not in the bathroom. Just say Steve or Mr. Chair. That's fine.
Chair.
We'll get to you.
Okay.
Yeah. Unless that's a new dance move. Go ahead. I don't know.
It's always with the dancing between us.
He was kind of gyrating in his chair for a minute.
I did forget that we had met with Rich Klein from Sage Solar with the solar project.
Oh,
and
yes.
that we have another meeting set up with him this Friday, and whatever product is brought forth will be
What I
emailed
would
to the
suggest is
board.
you put that in your TA report each week.
Yep.
All right? Or Mrs. Winslow can do the same, or her representative, whatever. I think it's more consistent if you do it, right?
Absolutely.
Good.
He's the one that has all the
Thank you.
documents.
I got two and then I'm done.
Mr. Slavin?
Planning Board, A&R, which stands for Approval Not Required. They are going to change the process and how it goes through. They'll be meeting again, I think, in January. If anybody's interested in that process, they should check the town agenda to see when they meet. The other area on the Planning Board is the Planning Board is going to come before the Board of Selectmen they may just actually mail it to us. They want a decision on a type
Hold
of
on, this is
surety
the
for a
last one in
particular
that
company
pile.
that has a project going on in town. That's it.
Mr. Titlebaum?
I have nothing. Thank you.
Okay, so I would move, the Board of Selectmen was in executive session earlier. We recessed that executive session to open the public meeting, so I would move for the board to adjourn its public meeting and return to we will not be returning to the regularly scheduled meeting, but we'll go into.
Sorry?
Do we have anything to finish, Attorney Bowen?
Sorry to be muttering away over here. I was just trying to get a glimpse at the agenda to see if there was an action item on it that, if we were able to return to open session and act, that we could, but I don't think we do.
We do. We
Correct.
do not. So at this time, we are going to enter, I'm going to make a motion. Do we have anything to complete in executive session, or can I just adjourn the meeting?
I think it would be, I move to go into executive session for purposes, I move to reconvene the executive session for the purpose of continuing discussions on contracts with non-union personnel, not to reconvene an open session and to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Roll call.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, that will conclude the open session of the Board of Selectmen Sewer Commissioners for December 11th. We'll see you all next week on December 18th. Please vacate the room so that we can continue into executive session. Thank you very much and have a great night.